Amber Heard's attorney, Elaine Brederhoff, began to give interviews about the verdict of Johnny Depp's lawsuit.
And you think
absolutely.
Amber Heard is, in fact, a survivor of domestic violence?
Yes, I absolutely believe that. And there's a tremendous amount of evidence, much of which did not come into this trial.
And her body language revealed that this was a big mistake for reasons that you're about to find out. Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and it would be great if you join us by just liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell. Let's get down to it. But before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Private Internet Access, the world's most transparent VPN provider. With over 20 million downloads, this is also my VPN of choice. I use Private Internet Access to hide my IP address and encrypt my connection. This way, I can browse the internet with 100% privacy and anonymity and access streaming services limited to certain countries. It's as easy as flicking a switch. Plus, Private Internet Access also blocks pesky ads, malicious trackers, and dangerous websites so you and your family can safely access the web. Private Internet Access is available for all operating systems and can protect up to 10 devices at the same time. This is the best way to have peace of mind, knowing that no one can spy on or track your online activities. Now, here's the kicker. If you use my special link in the description of this video, you get an 82% discount. That's just a little more than $2 a month. And you also get 3 months of private internet access for free. And since private internet access comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support, it's all risk-free for you. So use my link and get private internet access today. Well, it's no doubt that one of Elaine's jobs was to try to clean the public's perception of Amber, so she had to avoid any statements that put Amber under a bad light. That's why when Gayle King compared Amber's celebrity status with Johnny's, this happened.
I think that a lot of that was that it was Johnny Depp. I think the celebrity status.
But she's a celebrity too.
And
You serious?
But she's a celebrity too.
right.
But you have to remember, it's a tale of two trials. All the evidence came in the UK.
Yeah, she couldn't possibly say yes to that, so she avoided the topic completely. That's why it's so important in any behavior analysis to pay attention when people just don't answer the question or try to divert from the topic, because there must be a reason behind such evasion. To make sure that Amber was perceived correctly by the public opinion, Elaine had to plant a new word related to her, and that could be one of the reasons she was wearing a green blouse, a symbol of renewal and rebirth. But she had to choose this word.
So what did Depp's team learn from this? Demonize Amber and suppress the evidence. And so what basically they did here is demonize her. And that's because she was demonized here. You have to remember that. What they learned from the UK case is to demonize Amber, which is what they did. And
yeah, what she didn't realize that she's shooting herself in the foot, because she's establishing a connection between her client and a very negative concept. So I think Elaine is not aware that she's getting the exact opposite effect of what she intended. And the other way that Elaine was trying to control the narrative was with this anecdote of Amber that she repeated in both interviews.
And one of the first things that she said when she came back from the verdict, when we went into the conference room, was, "I am so sorry to all these women." One of the first things she said is, "I am so sorry to all those women out there. This is a setback."
And that is insulting, because when it comes to victims of domestic violence, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. This is another sad attempt at polarizing the public opinion. I guess they are expecting women to go up in arms to defend Amber. But well, at least there is one thing that Elaine said that her body language confirms as truth.
Is she able to pay a $10.4 million judgment?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
She ain't lying. You can imagine that after this trial, Elaine is not a big fan of social media, and she made sure to express her opinion about this.
And it was horrible. It really, really was lopsided. And I appreciate your saying that. It's like the Roman Colosseum, how they viewed this whole case. But it made it a zoo.
It's easy to spot that this topic affects her emotionally because she speaks giving more emphasis to words and displays an emotional reaction of taking your head back, which signals that you don't like to talk about the subject. You want to physically retreat from all those memes. And to be fair, I did my part too.
Do you recall? I'm trying.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
What, if anything?
Now, we have to address the very important question. Is Amber really going to appeal this verdict? Watch Elaine's body language when she answers and let's see if you can spot any emotional clues.
Does your client want to appeal?
Oh, absolutely. And she has some excellent grounds for it. We even had tried to get the UK judgment in to dismiss his case because he already had his shot.
Now, a few details in here. First, the timing of the answer was instant. Is your client interested in appealing? Absolutely. It was immediate, so that tells us that this was expected. But Elaine's modulation of the word absolutely was not the best, so she's got some reservations about that answer. Not to mention that she starts to tilt her head away from the interviewer and even facing to one side. That's another signal that she wants to avoid the topic of the possible appeal. Another difficult question. Do you think Amber Heard is in fact a survivor of domestic violence? Watch Elaine's reaction.
And you think
absolutely.
Amber Heard is, in fact, a survivor of domestic violence?
Yes, I absolutely believe that. And there's a tremendous amount of evidence, much of which did not come into this trial.
At first, I thought that I had seen Elaine turn her eyes to her right in a creative access cue, but I made sure to compare with the moments when she was talking to Nate Burleson, who was sitting to her right, to confirm that she was just keeping eye contact with him. This is the kind of things that you should double check to not misinterpret these kind of signals. But there's an interesting contrast between the chin up when she says, "I absolutely believe that," and the chin down, defensive on a tremendous amount of evidence. She's got reservations about that last statement, and she is not specific about said evidence either. Now, not everything that Elaine said was about Amber. In fact, when you watch the next clip, you will notice some nervousness in her. And I spoiled the body language details on purpose because I want you to pay attention to her words.
I redo my closings 100 times afterwards, whether I win or lose. That's part of being a good lawyer, a good trial lawyer, is
right.
There's always something. But I think that there were a lot of influences here that were beyond our control.
Yeah, she's basically trying to save face in a not so professional way. In that short clip, she justified herself saying that she redid her own closings, that this is a signal of what a good trial lawyer is, and that it seems that there were some external forces into play. She's simply trying to fix the professional train wreck that this trial was for her career. So that's the moment she revealed that there was also personal intention behind these interviews. Back to body language, first impressions are paramount. So if Elaine decided to keep talking in behalf of her client, she had to make sure to give the right message, including her nonverbal expression. And her posture was a big obstacle. For example, in the NBC News interview, she had to sit on a high third stool, and it's a very uncomfortable position. Notice that it doesn't give you much space. She has to keep her hands over her legs and her legs crossed at the ankles. To be fair, this is not her fault, but still, since she's adopting this posture, people are gonna perceive her like she's not sure about her own statements or a lack of confidence. Well, if I was defending Amber Heard, I would feel insecure too. It's a good thing that she wore black, which is a very professional color and at the same time makes you look powerful. And she took the time to express her ideas at a good pace. But the moment I heard that Elaine was giving interviews about the verdict, I knew that this was going to be a nice exercise on intentions. In other words, answering the question, why exactly is she doing damage control by appearing in public? I suppose that Elaine's professional experience as an attorney was one of the reasons that she landed this case in the first place. My doubts are based on her ability, and the rest of Amber's legal team, to understand the implications of body language in a trial. And it includes what to do after you lose the most visible trial of the last 10 years. The same way that Amber constantly looking to the jury when answering every single question was very, very bad advice, it was equally bad advice for Elaine to be exposing herself publicly afterwards. Because if you lose the case and keep quiet, you're just a loser. But if you go all out media tour, then you become a sore loser. You can always help me spot topics to analyze following and tagging me on my Instagram account. If you want to refine your observation skills, all you have to do is download my 100 body language tips right in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas, and it will always be a pleasure, my body language buddies. Much love and bliss.